you trust Ferguson Roof Systems to replace your roof, we go the extra mile to protect your home and property. On every job, we deploy durable netting to protect your home's exterior and landscaping. It's just one more reason why you should call Ferguson Roof Systems today.
All right, can you hear me? This is going to be a pretty rough Facebook Live. So if everything's going well and you can hear me and all that jazz, give me a thumbs up so I know that this thing's working. If it is, you guys are seeing me on Twitter. That's good. And you guys are seeing me out there on Rumble. Or not Rumble, but YouTube. So Jim's in the house from Mustang. I'd given up on you being online this evening. All right, Sharon says we can hear. Yeah, man, I had to set up my whole computer. I'm on a laptop, and I had some issue where I had to wipe the whole thing, I don't know, like months ago. I never got a chance to sit down and reload all this stuff, and so I've been sitting here trying to load half of it. And so I got enough of it going to where we can get through this. May not be the smoothest broadcast, but we'll get it done. So thanks for joining me. I'm Meteorologist in Tuttle, broadcasting live from undisclosed location after doing some UFO hunting today. I did not catch any UFOs. Didn't see a single one, and I saw no balloons. But I was looking. So I guess I'll have to just keep searching. But yeah, so obviously that's been some interesting stuff in the news, just some silliness. But we're going to talk about the weather, which isn't necessarily going to be so silly. So thanks for joining me. We're going to get to the bottom line is whether or not we're going to see any storms, severe weather, as we head into the second part of this storm system. So I'm going to load up the maps here. We're going to show you the first part and show you how that kind of rolls through the area. So let's do this here. All right. So I looked at the data here this evening and just to see how things are going. So here's a big picture here of the southern plains. You see the rainfall that moves through tonight, by the way. Yeah, you might even hear a little bit of thunder, down here across parts of southern Oklahoma. That little line, kind of a really thin squall line, kind of. I mean, it's pretty weak as far as anything significant goes. So don't look for any severe weather with this event. Just some good old-fashioned beneficial rain. But some heavy stuff, though, in the morning hours as you head on out the door. And then as we go into the afternoon, that stuff's moving out quick. So there's lunchtime into the mid-afternoon hours, and we're already into Arkansas at this point in time. So that activity is long gone. Then we will focus on round number 2. You can see some snow there across Colorado in the Panhandle and into western Kansas on Wednesday morning and a Wednesday afternoon. Then what happens, curiously, is we should get some thunderstorms that develop down here in the southern parts of Arkansas and also southern Oklahoma, maybe just across the border in Texas and also down here across northeast Texas around Tyler. So here's the deal, and I'll plot a forecast sounding here for you. This is one of the most aggressive models that we have for moisture transport. But if we get enough of the moisture that comes in from the Gulf of Mexico at the last minute, it does show a potential for a tornado across southern Oklahoma for Wednesday late day. We're talking the late afternoon, early evening down around the Ardmore area, and then points east here in the southeast Oklahoma, and then in the northeastern Texas as well. If we go back here into this particular viewpoint, I think the data here had a pretty good look of a potential tornado. Really nice hodograph curve for the Tyler area. So a significant tornado there, where you might have like an EF2-3. Again, this is all dependent upon some significant moisture return. And then, of course, in Arkansas, kind of same idea. I believe, they had a marginal tornado risk here as well. So it's not a overly high one, but it is in the cards if something can happen. And this is a big if, unfortunately. Or fortunately, how you want to look at this. So let's take a look at the dew point values. I mean, it's dry out there now, even though we're getting the rainfall that's moving in, right? Okay, so look at this moisture that surges in here for tonight through tomorrow. Now look how quickly it gets shunted off to the east, and it clears out once again across Texas. These dew point values drop back into the 40s and 30s down there. But then, look what happens at the last minute. This is on Wednesday morning, all right? So from Wednesday morning, watch the Gulf of Mexico. Through the morning to lunchtime, it is surging to Dallas-Fort Worth. from there, it surges into south and southern Oklahoma. And this is at the same time before a very strong westerly wind comes in here and knocks this all out and drives it back out. So in other words, what the model is saying is last minute hurrah, last ditch effort. If we can get the last couple of hours before the sun goes down and the timing out just right, southern Oklahoma may be in the mix for a couple of severe thunderstorms, the kind that would rotate. North Texas, it pretty much has a cap for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So in other words, no development down here. Otherwise, with the juice coming in across Red River, we would have it here. Now, again, not all models agree on this. Only a couple of them. This is the HER model, which is supposedly our best flagship model for the short-term evolution of things and severe weather. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. If you look here at, let's go to SPC Outlook. Their outlook here for this area does include kind of that southeastern quadrant of Oklahoma. They didn't even quite go to Ardmore, believe it or not. So they would have to back this up to the west if they're going to buy into the short-term solutions from the HER model. In that particular case, then they would bring in the more of a threat of severe weather back up here to southern Oklahoma and kind of keep it there for the southern half of Arkansas, et cetera. So that's one of the changes they would probably have to make, looking at the newest data, if they're going to bite. They may not bite. They may wait till the morning to see how the rest of the data goes. There's still plenty of time to look at this. But for right now, that's the way that thing sets up. If I look at the Texas Tech model for this type of activity, and we'll go here for the midday run. So it's got the rainfall for tonight and tomorrow, and I'll show you the rainfall totals here in a second. And then we focus back here into Wednesday, and it also likes those development of storms by late afternoon on the I-35 corridor, even so bold as to bring them here in Oklahoma City. Now, those storms won't quite be like the ones down south, so don't get too excited here yet. Otherwise, it does say there's enough moisture surges into southeastern Oklahoma where some of these may have helicity tracks with them, which could be some hail, and potentially down here. Again, better is for tornadoes along the Red River Valley on into southeastern Oklahoma, these little clusters down in here. So that's something to watch for. I like to see, just a little inside tip for me, I like to see when the WRF does this, the Texas Tech WRF, I like it to match the 3-kilometer NAM. All right, so this is one of my little insider tips here for you. So let's go see what it does. Pop this up here. All right, does it have any of those helicity tracks? Does it have that same look of severe storms? Let's take a look. And right here we go. Does it? No, not really. And that's because it never really brings in the moisture. So one of these models is going to bust. If you ask me which one I'm siding with, I got to side toward the 3-kilometer NAM, which is the low-key outcome, until I see a better representation of it in the data. The HER sometimes likes to get a little too excited, and it can overpromise and underdeliver, even though it's really good at what it does in most cases. It really loves tornadic outbreaks, and it loves to paint pictures of glorious supercells, and half the time it busts big time. And everybody bites on it, and they never learn their lesson. So I learned my lesson long before. I never bite on it, so I have to see other agreement before I get excited about it. But that's the latest in that world of data. Let's take a look at the what we do know is that we're going to have some pretty decent rainfall out of this. So let's go to the total QPF. I'll do a model blend on this. That way it doesn't take any one particular strength or weakness, but kind of blends them together. Just kind of give you an idea of how much rain we're looking at through this period. So let's stop it. Let's see. Let's go just this week. Okay, just for the two events. So through Thursday night. And it's got basically along the eastern third of the state a ½ inch to as much as an inch of rainfall that extends down to Dallas-Fort Worth, looks like, and parts of northeast Texas. Otherwise, Arkansas's got a good amount of rainfall coming its way, and then also the states points east from there. Western Oklahoma is getting some rain. It's just not a whole lot, anywhere from a quarter to maybe a third of an inch. Here it's got about a third of an inch for Oklahoma City. Again, your results may vary. The models usually kind of give you a general trend, but they're never going to really nail it down. But kind of gives you the idea of where the heaviest, more widespread rain is going to be when you look at things like that. All right, and the winds. The winds is a big story, too, with this whole deal. And I may go back to the other models for this. We'll see if I like the data or not. So tonight to tomorrow, let's see, this model blend has got 30s, 40s. So Tuesday is just ridiculous. So those yellows out there in the Panhandle, that's 60-mile-per-hour winds. My goodness. Otherwise, 40s out there across the state. That moves on off to the east, and then things kind of quiet down for the next front that comes in for Wednesday and a Thursday, and so you get a little bit of an extra gust there, but not as bad. Looks like mostly 30s for Thursday as that moves on by. So there's your two windy solutions with that. And let's see, those are the kind of highlights I wanted to hit. I put all this up in my blog, but Facebook just doesn't like blogs anymore. In other words, it doesn't really want to share a post that has my website on it, which really irritates me. Because that's where I do the blog forecast, right, for the week. So that way you guys, if you don't have time to watch these videos always, you can at least read the short synopsis. So that's kind of, unfortunately, the way it goes, and can't do much about that. But so that's what I got here for you on the short term as far as what's going on here this week. Oh, I didn't show you the snow. So let me. I knew I was forgetting something. So I know you guys up there in the Panhandle, like, well, what about us when it comes to snow? You know, we exist. Same thing you guys up there in Kansas and Colorado. Some pretty decent snow with this system. All right, so let's go up here. Okay. So I'll switch the view because that southern view is not going to show much. So we'll go here. All right, this is also put this in my blog earlier, but some really decent amounts out here in Colorado, southern half of Colorado, 8 inches in the flat areas, and up to the foothills, and then you get up to around, of course, the mountain region. You get up to 2 feet of snow in some of these areas. The same thing for New Mexico. These little peaks of the mountains may get up around 2 feet or more of fresh powder. Otherwise, some decent snow up here across most of Kansas. The exception would be the southeastern quadrant. In Oklahoma, I don't know, man. Some of the models may give you a little bit more than this. In Woodward, this is a model blend. It's coming in the low end of the estimates. It only has you about half an inch to an inch. You might get a little bit more than that, but the higher amounts obviously in the Panhandle. But anyway, some pretty good snow there for our friends up there in the north. And if you missed my post I made earlier this evening about the Canadian model, I'll go ahead and show it to you. Might as well just show you what I'm looking at. That way you're on the same page. So a couple things are going to happen. All right, so first I'll show you the temperatures. Now, the Canadian's been hinting at this now 2 days in a row, but the pattern a week ago, I saw the pattern a week ago and mentioned it. The American model actually picked up on it before it chickened out and dropped it, which is usual. It's so bad. But at least it hinted that something was going to happen. All right, so let's go into the 21st. And the period was around the 21st. And so far, the signal is still kind of there, just kind of transient, kind of back and forth in that time frame. This has the 21st right here in the middle of the day, and there's that Arctic front blasting through the Central Plains. We're in the 70s, by the way, on the 21st. But if you look on the 22nd in the morning hours, that Arctic air comes creeping on in here to the state. It's in the 20s and teens, north and west. By midday, we're at 29 degrees in Oklahoma City. So that Arctic air would come on through during the course of the afternoon on the 22nd. Of course, get quite cold on the 23rd with some negative numbers up there in the Kansas. All right, so while that's happening, we're going to get a upper-level energy coming in from the southwest in the form of a storm system. So what it's doing right now is, again, it all depends on the track. It always depends on the track, the upper low. But for right now, it's favoring a lot of snow across central Kansas and the Panhandle of Oklahoma with a mixture of ice, freezing rain, and a little purple shaded area Wednesday morning. Otherwise, heavy storms east of there. And then as it lifts on off midday Wednesday, it moves out of the state by the afternoon, and then a little bit of leftover snow behind it. So right now, it's not a very prolonged event. And currently, with the position that it has of the colder air, it has it mostly across the northwestern half of the state. In other words, draw a line on I-44 along and north of that boundary is where most of the action is for the winter weather stuff. But I must caution you, obviously, this is 2 weeks away, or not quite 2 weeks away. We're 10 days away. And so a lot can change between now and then, and a lot will change between now and then. But it is something to watch. The European model is starting to trend toward that. And so if you do look at the ice accumulations with this, because this can be an ice event as well. It may not be just all snow, for Oklahoma, for example. So in other words, this likes a little bit of icing along this boundaries into Kansas right now, northern Iowa and northwestern Oklahoma. Now, could this shift southward? You bet. And will it? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's 10 days away. You're asking a lot from a weatherman. But I'm just bringing it up to your attention that that's what I'm watching in the long term. So I covered you on the short term, and now I've got you on the long term. So hopefully I got you squared away. look at some of your comments. Hopefully everything was working here good tonight. So for those folks that missed it, I'm on travel. Decided to do a little jet setting today. Guys, we'll find you on YouTube. Okay, so the Wednesday events, Robert wants to know, is it going to move back west toward I-35? Well, that one model does favor I-35 corridor down south in southern Oklahoma. So in theory, sure, why not? It could certainly be. Let me think here. Let's refresh you guys. Now, I won't be able to see any of the earlier comments on Facebook. I'm loading them up now. So if you did have a question, now probably a better time to ask it. What's wrong with the sound? Mary wants to know. Well, I'm talking through these things, so it might be a little low. You might have to crank your volume up. Let's see, Dallas, Texas, Clint. So you guys are supposed to have a cap in place, which would prevent severe weather for your area in the model data. And the reason for that is the upper storm system is a little bit too far to the north for you. So right now that's the way it looks. So if that happens, then the storms will be just to your north, probably as far south as maybe Gainesville and along the Red River, and then east of you, like Tyler, points from there. But, you know, it's, what is today? Monday. So Tuesday we'll have a better look at the data to see if that cap does hold, and then we'll be able to see how much of that deeper moisture works its way in. Jody, sounds like an old AM radio. In other words, it's not in the stereo. Yay, I'm just be glad I got this thing up and running. I feel like I'm on a bucket of bolts here with duct tape, everything else. Sherman, so yeah, Sherman's in the area of interest. Let's see. Awesome, Hillary. Glad you picked up an AT's weather hoodie. We still got another month or so to wear it. Remember, the pattern for winter is going to hold on through all of March. So, Kimberly, how long does the cold last on the 23rd? It'd be at least for a couple of days. You know, our typical Oklahoma, here for like 2 or 3 days, and then it's back to the 60s. So right now, but it's a long ways off. So there's not a lot of guidance beyond that time frame. How much snow will Wichita get on Thursday, heading up there from Oklahoma City? Well, the models we looked at a minute ago, I guess you must be late. I showed you the snowfall map up there, and it had, for that area, just a couple of inches. It gets much higher and deeper the more north you go from Wichita and the more west you go. But still some decent snows for Kansas. Let's see. Jill says, I was late. Did you say anything about Ardmore? Sure did. You tell Hubs get out of that RV. Tell him AT's on. You got to go. So, yeah, you guys are in the a big if, we get enough moisture for you guys in Ardmore at the last minute, Wednesday afternoon, like after 5 o'clock. You would be at the fringe of the western side of where you might get some supercell storms that could produce a tornado across southern and southeastern Oklahoma. So that's what I got for you. Yeah, the colors are a little fun because what I'm using is my light off my phone. So like I said, man, this is a fun little deal. But I'll have to tweak it some more. And then I left some of my stuff at home because I was focused on work, getting out the door, so I left a couple of goodies that would have made this better, but you know, it is what it is. I got it going. All right, listen, that's it for me. I've pretty much told you everything there is to know for right now, and then tomorrow night I do plan on doing another broadcast, so that we'll see how the data looks, and then I'll be traveling back Wednesday, so I'll be back in time. If it looks like we're going to have tornadoes, I'll be back in time to cover those live out of my home office, so that way you guys will be covered. All right, man, Nancy, I know you guys had some of the rainfall buckets over there in far southeast Oklahoma. It was up around 6 inches of rain. We had some serious flooding up there. So Chicken Mama, no, Shawnee's not in that risk right now. All right, listen, I gotta get out of here because I gotta get some sleep, man. I got work I gotta do. I gotta go save the world. Anyway, thanks again for checking in tonight and watching, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Just like and share this video. Tell your friends and family about AT's weather, and thanks for your support as always. And we will see you mañana. Good night, everybody. Sleep well.